Welcome to Crane, helping you design the second half of life. When researchers ask retirees what they regret most, the answers are surprisingly consistent. In fact, more than 55% of retirees say they would plan retirement differently if they could start over. But here's the interesting part. Most of those regrets don't show up 20 years into retirement. They show up in the first decade. And that first decade quietly determines whether retirement becomes the best chapter of your life or something you wish you had planned differently. So what are those regrets? Researchers consistently hear the same five. People wish they had saved earlier and built more financial security. They wish they had taken better care of their health while they still had time. Many regret losing the daily social connections that work provided. Others discover they retired without a real sense of purpose. And one of the most common surprises, they didn't really plan what life would actually look like once work ended. Now, when you look at that list, something interesting appears. Only one of those regrets is purely about money. The rest are about how people designed their lives once work ended. Because retirement isn't just a financial event. It's a life design problem. Money may fund retirement, but it doesn't design it. And where that design matters most is the first decade of retirement. Think about retirement like an airplane preparing for flight. The first decade is the runway. If the runway is strong and long enough, the decades ahead can lift off with momentum. But if the runway is short, uneven, or neglected, the journey becomes much harder. The people who thrive in retirement tend to invest in 4 runways early. The first is financial runway, not just having money saved, but creating income, flexibility, and peace of mind that allow you to live the life you want. The second is health runway. Your health in your 60s often determines your independence in your 70s and 80s. Strength, mobility, daily movement. These become the foundation for everything else. The third is social runway. For decades, work provides built-in relationships. Retirement removes that structure overnight. Without intentional effort, many people find themselves surprisingly isolated. And the fourth runway is purpose. Work-provided goals. Responsibility. Challenge. Meaning. When that disappears, many people struggle to replace it. But those who intentionally design purpose early often find the second half of life becomes their most meaningful chapter. There's an old story about bamboo farmers. When bamboo seeds are planted, nothing appears above the surface for years. The farmer waters the ground, fertilizes the soil, waits. Year after year, nothing. Then something remarkable happens. After years of invisible growth underground, bamboo can suddenly grow 80 feet in just a few weeks. The growth wasn't happening above the surface. It was happening below it. Retirement works much the same way. The first decade is when the roots are forming. The financial runway, the health runway, the social runway, the purpose runway. Much of that progress may feel invisible at first, but it quietly determines the decades that follow. So, here's a question worth asking. If the first decade quietly determines the next 3, what are you building right now? What seeds are you planting today that will shape the life you're living 10 or 20 years from now? And just as important, what if you feel like you're already late? Many people reach their late 50s or early 60s and think the window has already closed. But the truth is, the best time to start designing the next phase of life may have been years ago. The second best time is today. The runway can still be built, and even small changes in these early years can shape the decades ahead. Too much of the retirement conversation is driven by fear. Fear of running out of money. Fear of making the wrong decision. Fear of the unknown. But the people who thrive in retirement see it differently. They don't see retirement as the end of something. They see it as the design phase of the second half of life. Retirement isn't just a financial event. It's a life design opportunity. And with the right planning and the right mindset, the years ahead can become some of the most meaningful years of your life. More freedom. More connection. More time for the things that matter. If you're thinking about retirement or already in it, I've created a free guide called Winning the First Decade of Retirement. It walks through the 4 runways in a simple framework you can use to start designing the years ahead. You can download the PDF using the link in the description below, which will take you to the Crane Substack. At Crane, we focus on one idea: clarity before crisis, helping people think clearly about money, life, and the decisions that shape the second half of life. If this conversation is helpful, like the video, subscribe to Crane, and share the video with someone you care about.